all the non-believers. How did that? To all the non-believers, especially you, Tom Jackson. Way to have our back, Keyshawn. Anybody can be beat.
Welcome back to Jets Fuel. Today I'll be giving you a recap of our Week 1 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers, 34-32. So, to start off, the game went completely different than myself and I would imagine a lot of you thought it would go. Instead of a defensive game, low-scoring defensive game where it was hard to move the ball, it turned out to be an offensive shootout and a back-and-forth battle on offense, which surprised everybody and myself. But it still ended up with resulting in our loss, a 34-32 loss. Disappointing, but there's some positives in it. We'll get into the game, how it went, start to finish. We'll hit on a couple stats, key players. Yeah, but first I want to hit on our divisional opponents, the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Bills. I'll just let you know how they did today so we get an understanding of where our division stands. So Miami ended up losing to the Colts 33-8, big loss. Patriots ended up losing to the Raiders as well, 20-13. And I just finished watching a great game between Buffalo and the Ravens. Both teams are amazing, but Buffalo found a way to win again against the Ravens in another close game with the Ravens. So Buffalo ends up winning 41-40. So Buffalo stands at the top of the division right now with a win, and the rest of us are 0-1. But Week 2 is coming up. We have the Bills coming to our house, and yeah, it's a game that we got to win. We just lost a home game. We can't lose any more home games. You got to win your home games. It's imperative. If we want to make anything this season, we gotta stand on business and beat the Bills at home next week. And with the performance we had today, on the offensive side of the football, I think we're capable of doing it. So let's get into the game. The game started off by the Jets in the first half. We made history for the New York Jets, which is hard to say, but we started out on our first 4 drives were scoring drives. Two field goals, 2 touchdowns.
We're going to have that. 30 seconds to go here in the first. Fields, great protection. Deep ball on the way. Rainbow is caught. Garrett Wilson. Allen in the backfield. Handed to him. Allen bulldozing. And he is right there and in for the touchdown.
Like I said, that's never happened in Jets history. So that's a positive to look at. So the first half, we were doing very well. And it surprised a lot of us. All my boys, we were talking throughout the game, and our offense was really shining. And it was impressive to see the Jets score on their first 4 drives. I've never seen it, and in history it's never been done. So, yeah. But one sour point going into halftime, the Steelers put together a scoring touchdown drive. We should have went into the halftime being up 19-10 or possibly 19-13, but the Steelers put together a nice offensive drive and get the touchdown. So we ended up going into the halftime with a 19-17 lead. But I was looking at the game even before that last scoring drive by the Steelers going into the halftime, and I thought we were in good control of the game. I thought we were playing well on both sides of the football, decent. We had our struggles on the defensive side of the football today, but I felt like we were in control of the game. So we come out of the halftime, and our defense shuts out the Steelers' offense for the majority of the third quarter. Our offense had a great touchdown drive, which was capped off with a Justin Fields touchdown.
This guy, beautiful play. First and goal. Fields trying to do it himself. Extends.
At that point, at the end of going towards the end of the third quarter, we were up 26-17. I thought we were gonna. This was our game. I thought we were gonna run away with it at this point, but typical Jets misery and heartbreak. The Jets curse was soon to fall upon us. So, yeah, going into the end of the third quarter and then into early the fourth quarter, the Steelers put together another scoring drive. They scored another touchdown, but this was the turning point in the game. After they scored that touchdown at the end of at the beginning of the fourth quarter, this was the end, the beginning of the end. So they scored that touchdown on the ensuing kickoff. Gibson fumbles the ball on the kickoff return.
Better coach, and he's really enjoyed that.
Kick from Boswell. Gibson returning. He loses the ball! The bobble and turnover!
Gainwell.
Steelers get the ball back, quickly score another touchdown, and we are losing 31-26. In the blink of an eye, it was a quick 14-point turnaround, and that was the reason why we lost this game. If he did not fumble that kickoff, I think we would have ran away with this game, honestly. We were playing with such momentum, and that just completely deflated us. Even though after they did that quick 14-point turnaround, after they scored, we responded very well. And that was great to see how Justin Fields and our offense came back. They came back and responded with another touchdown drive, capped off by another Justin Fields touchdown.
4th and goal from the 1. Hall in the backfield. Fake it, and it's finished.
There it is.
By himself.
So at this point, it's 32-31. And to back that up, we followed that up with a beautiful defensive stand that was capped off by a sack by Quincy Williams, a beautiful sack.
Or are they going to bail everybody out? Bring it.
3rd and 15. Rodgers.
Brought it.
He's dumped. Quincy Williams.
So, yeah, things are looking good at this point. We have the lead. Our defense just stopped them again, 32-31. We get the ball back, and we don't do nothing with it. Still holding the lead. Steelers get the ball back at this point. There's a little bit over 3 minutes left in the game. And they ended up scoring a field goal. And it was set up by an amazing catch. That was amazing juggling catch by DK Metcalf.
Rodgers. And that ball knocked around and ends up.
Just an incredible catch that set up the field goal. Yeah, so after that was done, so now we're losing 34-32. We get the ball back. We go 4 and out on the 4th down conversion. Where Fields dumps it off to the left to Garrett Wilson. He catches it beyond the 1st down marker, but immediately he was hit. A big hit that popped the ball loose. Incompletion. Game's over. Steelers win 34-32. Rodgers has his revenge, and the Jets lose another close game. This is something that we're getting used to over these last couple of years, and I'm hoping that this trend can end quickly. But there was a lot of positives in this game, and watching the Aaron Glenn press conference after the game, there's no moral victories, he said, but we showed a lot of positive things and some really good things on the offensive side of the ball that we can build off of. Defensively, we need to play better, especially going with Buffalo coming to town next week. We have to play better. It's imperative that the defensive secondary plays better. So let's touch on a couple of the team stats. We led in pretty much every category, which this is surprising, and we still found a way to lose based on that fumble by Gibson. But total yards in favor of the Jets. Jets had nearly 400 yards of offense to Pittsburgh's 271. Rushing favored Pittsburgh slightly, 218 to the Jets' 212. Rushing, we dominated, which I thought everybody knew that was going to happen. We were going to run the ball down their throats, and we did. Jets had 182 rushing yards, led by Breece Hall, to Pittsburgh's 53. We won the time of possession battle by nearly 10 minutes. Jets had nearly 35 minutes compared to Pittsburgh's 25 minutes. But one thing, where we fell short, well, I don't fell short, but we had 7 penalties compared to Pittsburgh's 4. 2 of those 7 penalties were big penalties. One was on John Simpson, which I can forgive because I love the fight and him sticking up for Fields, which, on a side note, there was a couple of hits on Fields that should have been called. Roughing the passer. I don't know what. There was a couple of hits there was 2 of them, and I for sure should have been called. But yeah, so we had 2 big penalties. One was on Simpson and the other one was on Quincy. So penalties continue to plague this team, and Aaron Glenn addressed it in his post-game press conference that if you can't control yourself and these penalties can't be controlled and you turn the ball over, you're not going to see the field. Simple as that. I love that. We haven't seen that type of accountability in a long time, and I'm not saying I don't want to see Simpson and Quincy and I'd want to see Quincy and Simpson on the field at all times. But as far as the mistake made by Gibson, put him on the bench, honestly. Going back, was it 2 years ago, he had that big punt return that led to our week 1 victory after Rodgers went down against the Bills. He had that big punt return for a touchdown that we ultimately won the game. But after that, he hasn't done nothing. I don't know why he's on this team, honestly. And no knock on him. I know he had a big play in the first half, like a 40-something yard kickoff return. Great. But you can't protect the ball. So I looked into it because I was like, my buddy and I were like, he's had a problem fumbling the ball. So I looked back at his past stats. Since he's been in the league, he's had 2 full seasons and 1 game into his 3rd season. This guy has 10 fumbles. 10 fumbles. And this guy's kick was a receiver at one point and now is just delegated to doing kickoff returns. And he's fumbling the ball. He needs to be shut down. He needs to be sent to the bench. There's other guys that would gladly step in there, secure the ball. Inexcusable. Should have never happened. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. From the play, it seems like the guy just slapped the ball out of his hand. So that was the key play of the game and ultimately lost us the game. There's some other factors that led to our loss, especially our giving up. We gave up a lot of big plays. A couple, off of missed tackles, stupid plays that we in the secondary. But that was the key play that lost us the game. So just touching on a couple of the Steelers stats, player stats, specifically Aaron Rodgers, because he got his revenge on the Jets. And if you go back to my previous video, I was talking about, it's been documented that Rodgers has slow starts in his games. Well, it's like a curse. Whenever I bring up something or think of something, the opposite happens, and it happened today. Rodgers goes off. The guy can throw the ball better. Amazing. It's just incredible. So Rodgers goes off for 22 of 30 for 244 yards, 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns in MetLife. The other big star that we talked about in my previous video is DK Metcalf. He was targeted 7 times. I think he had 4 receptions for 83 yards. I could live with that. Even though he had a couple of big plays. One was off a missed tackle. Then he had that big juggling catch at the end of the game that set up the 3 points that put them in the lead. Finally, 34-32. But yeah, biggest play of the game was and is the Gibson fumble. That's what changed the momentum in the game. It was a huge 14-point turnaround within minutes. It's just inexcusable. But on a positive note, not just to end this, negatively, the Jets on offense far exceeded what I thought they were capable of. They were run heavy, but Justin Fields did an amazing job in passing the football as well. Justin Fields, end of the day, 16 of 22, 218 yards, and one throwing touchdown. But he also had those 2 rushing touchdowns. Also, rushing the ball, Justin Fields had 12 carries for 48 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also, if you go back to my previous video, the preview video of the Steelers vs. Jets game, I told you that the rushing attack had to be the most important part of the game. And Breece Hall came through. He was one of the guys I mentioned. He came through big. Breece Hall had 19 carries for 107 yards. He averaged like 5.6 yards a carry. And then on top of that, he had 2 receptions for 38 yards. Hell of a game. Hell of a way to start the season by Breece Hall. I'm so excited to see what he could do for the rest of the season as he builds momentum. Braylon Allen, our power back, he didn't have many yards, but he got in there for a touchdown. Passing wise, you saw that connection that Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson have all day long on display. They're just in sync, and they going back from college to now, you could just see the two of them are completely in sync, and this is promising for us moving forward. Breece Hall being able to run the football, sprinkle in some runs with Justin Fields, and that connection that Fields and Garrett Wilson have is going to set us up beautifully. Ruckert had a big catch, surprisingly. Mason Taylor had a couple big catches, or one big catch. So, yeah, we have the tools available, and we have the offense now that I didn't expect us to have. You know, I didn't foresee us putting up 32 points. I couldn't foresee this offense the way it was constructed before this game getting more than 20 points a game. But it works. And if our defense can get better and figure out some of these miscues and missed tackles and dumb penalties, like, we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And we're going to find out real quick next week when Buffalo comes home. We have to protect that. We have to protect home field. We have to. We gave up one today. All right. We cannot give up any more home games. And it starts next week against our divisional rival, the Buffalo Bills. Defensively, I'll just pass by Xavier Gibson, bastard. Defensively, you had Will McDonald show out again, which is he's continuing, he's consistent. 2 sacks today, right? I believe 2 sacks. Quinnen had a sack. Quincy had a sack. The Sack brothers, we call them. Yeah. Once Jermaine Johnson gets his legs underneath him, we're gonna have a decent front to get to attack the passer. So, what's going on in the secondary? I don't know. I have to take a better look at it, and maybe during the week I'll drop a video in regards to what happened. You know, the breakdowns in the secondary. I don't know how many times Sauce was actually lined up against DK, but I don't think it was many, and I think he held his own. But, you know, Brandon Stevens got exposed a couple times today. He almost ended the game with that. Could have closed the game out with a pick that went right through his hands. Yeah, but a lot of positives and a lot of good things to build off of. Now, can we put it together next week against the Bills? That's what's gonna be the determining factor. Put all these great things. We continue and build off the great things that we had on offense. Clean up all the crap with the dumb penalties. We can't turn over the ball against Buffalo Bills. We can't. Offensively, they're elite. It's looking like defensively we can expose them, go after them, control the clock, get that win at home, go 1-1, be at the top of the division with them. And, yeah, we could build off of the positive things that we had today. Just sucks that it's another close game that we lost. That's been the narrative. There's a black cloud hanging overhead in regards to that. The Gibson fumble, inexcusable, should have never happened. That was the turning point. But I'm very optimistic. I love what I've seen today, and Justin Fields far exceeded my expectations. So big props to him, to the offense, to the game plan they put together, the coordinator, play calling, all that. Did very well. Next week, Bills come to town, and it's going to be a big one. That's Sunday at 1 o'clock at MetLife. Look forward to it. Look forward to beating the brakes off the Bills. And as always, go Jets.